Good evening all from GHGKQ. Let's turn that audio down a bit and mute that one when I can find the remote. There we go. Good. Looks like we've got a bumper net tonight. Really good to see Dave on for the G4 EV on for the first time. Welcome, Dave. And Benno joining us from the Netherlands as well. That's great. I'll put up a extended list in a minute. But we've got about, there'll be 11 of us, so please keep the overs short. From here, you should, those of you who take printed CQTV and live in the UK should have received it by now. I'm not quite sure how long it takes to get out further afield. Please don't forget there's an activity weekend on 15th and 16th of Jan. That's not this weekend, but the following weekend on 70 SEMs and 23 SEMs. So get your warm coats out and your 70 SEM gear. Get out on those hilltops in a week and a half's time, please. And lastly, congratulations to Ken, G8VDP, who seems to have won both the activity ladder over Christmas and the repeater ladder with, looks like GB3EY has taken the money there. But thank you all for participating in that. So without further ado, short overs please, round to Jim, G7NTG and the group G8GKQ.
Right, okay, so we'll mute it. Yeah, good evening everybody. I will keep it quick. I suppose Happy New Year in person this time as opposed to wishing it before, but it's nice to see so many people coming on. It's really good. Not a lot to report except for working on these little amplifiers. I don't know how close I can go with those, but I've just managed to obtain another batch from my friend in Poland, and I've been working on removing some capacitors. Of course the thumb's pointing in the wrong place. On the actual gates of the transistor, input power transistor, there's 3 small capacitors to ground. I found that by removing those I could get a colossal increase in power at 2.4 gigs. So also bypass this filter circulator here, take that out and bypass it. All very easy mods to do. The only thing is getting enough heat in to unsolder the output connectors and the filter or circulator. So with that, I shall be fitting them into a proper box of right size, and I'll do a write-up on that as well. I've already done one on the modification of the board, but I'll do a simple one on fitting it in a box possibly, just to show how easy it is. So without further ado, it's round to G3IUZ from G7NTG with the group. From G7NTG with the group.
Thank you, Jim, very much. G3IUZ to the net. And Happy New Year to everybody.
Thank you, Jim, very much.
Sorry about that. Not a lot to report since last week. Just done a bit more refining and checking out on the new water cooling for the PA. For those who weren't with us last week, very briefly, I've had problems with my PA. Too many bits in too small a box. And the only solution without completely rebuilding was to go for water cooling, which has been very successful. I can just give you a quick very quick resume. That was the water cooling block, CNC milled. There it is. The PA's underneath the copper here. That's the transverter up from 70 sems and the driver for the Nokia PA underneath. Close up there. That's the block with the water in, water out, and that's coming out of the box, which is hermetically sealed with a special breather there. And this is the arrangement in our backyard, temporary arrangement with the pump here. And the latest news on that, this was just to prove it all works. It's got antifreeze in it now, by the way, in case anybody's worried. That's the pump. That was just a header tank that I hastily put into use, and that's the weatherproofing. So there we are. So that's what I've been up to, and I've just acquired on eBay a MG Midget radiator for £12.99. I think about £200 new, but nobody else was bidding. That's on its way, and so we'll have a proper little proper radiator, which I think will be adequate to keep everything nominal in the hot weather in the summer. So there we are. That's me up to date. So it goes now to Dave G4EEB. This is G3IUZ with the net. G4EEB. G3IUZ with the net.
Okay, I'll just test that the sound's going out. I think it is. That's good. And welcome. I've been watching the net for, well, ever since it started. I've been an avid watcher of this for some time. For some reason I'm not locking up on my own signal, so I don't know what's gone wrong. I'll just try that again. Oh, that's better. It's a bit worrying when you can't see your own picture coming back. Oh dear, no video. Just stand by. Now that's better. I've got the picture now. I don't know what the problem has been. I just restarted the free streamer and the Pluto. So anyway, good evening to everybody. Sorry about the hiccup. It's bound to happen the first time. Been practicing all afternoon and it never happened. Anyway, good evening to everybody. Just to let you know what I'm using here, I just put a couple of slides together and just give you a brief intro to the station. I'm receiving on a 1.1 meter dish with the Octagon LNB, but I'm actually transmitting on a separate dish. Usual setup, it's a PC running OBS and the free stream coder into a Pluto, and then a variable attenuator and a drive amplifier for the PA with a desktop for control. And the power is coming from one of Jim's amplifiers. I've built a power supply to go along with it. It's three of the series 12 volt supplies, and there's an RS2 output for status. And for transmission, the dish, it's an old 85 centimeter dish
there's enough power in the amplifier to run this at about 100 watts. But there's going to be a problem with EMF considerations with the other dish. So this is up out of the way and clear of neighbours' properties. Right, back to the camera. I think it's over to the other Dave next. M0YDH, this is G4EEV, and let's see if we can get this bit right. Don't cut you off too soon.
Go on now, kid. Oh! Okay, I can see myself a bit on mini-tune, but not on this one, so assuming I'm transmitting. Yeah. Oh, give it a beans. Right, good evening all. Hopefully it's working. I've got a picture back on mini-tuner, but not on the Ryde, which is a pity. It was working earlier. And good evening, happy New Year to one and all. And hopefully you can hear me. Looking for confirmation. Oh dear, it's not going well, is it? Okay, all good, thanks Dave. Yeah, I was going to say, look at this, how fantastic. I built a Ryde, that's the main news, but it's singularly not displaying my own video at the moment, so that's a bit of a disaster. Anyway, yeah, it's in an old home cinema box, and I repurposed a CD player remote control for it. So oh good, thanks Nigel. And there we go, so that's my main activity. The other thing I did over Christmas was cover all of this in dust sheets and make another desk. And this what so I made this desk last year, so I had to make my wife one for the computer in the house. Let's put unsteady cam back on its plank of wood, and so that stopped me from taking part in the ATV ladder and all the other good stuff. Okay, so yeah, it's fun, and thanks very much to James G0DQH for a Traco DC-DC converter, and G0MJW gave me one of his lovely purple boards for the Raspberry Pi 4 that goes in the Ryde receiver. Okay, I know why. I'll bet if I touch there it'll work. Ah, go on. Right, I'll call it quits. My own bloody receiver doesn't work. What a disaster. Okay, thank you very much everybody. 7-3, and we're passing it round to the next game.
Hello, 2E0EHH. I wish everybody a happy new year. Let's hope 2021 is better. And why am I not seeing myself? I'm not sure now. All good signal, oh, that's okay. Yeah, I'm having problems with receiver as well, but yeah, I think because I've got it set. I've got the search, quick search, on set up as it auto tunes 3, and then I manually choose 1. Trouble is if there's only a couple on signal, it jump. Anyway, that's right. Yeah, I'm still having problems with FEC. I've looked at the manual, and when I have FC on 2 thirds, I don't see my video or audio back on the Windhill. But if I go bring it down to FEC a quarter, I can. But see, I can see me. I've got I've got 1, 2. I've got 5 screens open now, so I don't know. That's on the mini tune. Anyway, mini tune. No, well, I can't remember. My brain's gone. Anyway, I'll keep it short because obviously there's 1 or 2 on, and what I might do on my next one, I might put it back down to a quarter and see if that makes any difference. Although I should be able to. Let me just do this. Why? Because that's. Let's just see. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I had 1 monitor set up for that, but it. Anyway, I'm waffling and get my words mixed up. I think it's Benno next. I'll pass over to Pulp. PA3FBX. Bruno, I think. Top of words. Microphone and channel's yours, sir. I'll have more to say hopefully on the next over.
Okay, here we are. I had something not working. It's fixed now. Okay, thanks for that. Well, that was very interesting, wasn't it? My goodness. I don't think I've ever seen subtitles on here before, but it worked a treat. I really like the Portsdown and Ryde in one box. That's absolutely fantastic. Right, okay. Yeah, excellent. Okay. I hope I might catch you next over, but I probably will be gone to work by then. But there we are. This will just be a quick one because there's quite a few. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, we've been doing little screens. You might. I'll just do this. I'll try and be quick if I can because there's quite a few on. But you know, I've been working on this 5-inch screen, and I used one of Mike's. It's actually for a Ryde. That purple board is for a Ryde, and it's got the Portsdown 4 board that's available in the BATC shop on there, and I put quite a big standoff because I wanted plenty of airflow to get round the Pi and that. But Mike has actually come up with another version. I think we'll need shaky cam for this. We'll go for shaky cam. So there we are. So this version here is a little bit slimmer and uses the 25-way D that is favoured by Dave, I think. So I've done this is just a prototype of this one, but got this working today. So there it is. Got there's two types of power supply in there. There's the standard one like this, which hadn't been tested, so that's why I fitted that one. Or the one similar to same as the Winter Hill, you can fit in there as well. There's room for it under that board. You only have one or the other, obviously. But there we are. So it's got outputs. You have to be careful because it is actually on at the moment. it is actually on, but it is actually being a Portsdown. So there it is. And we've got outputs here as well. Look for here we are, audio and video out of there, and Langston bands on that one, and so you can use it for Langston as well. So there it is. You can have a little nose around the board. So that's good because that obviously gives some reasonable cooling. I don't think Mike's in favour of the heat sinks, but I couldn't control myself and put some little heat sinks, some sticky on heat sinks in there. So there we are. So we can see. Oh, I'll balance it on my knee, shall I? There you are. This is properly portable. This, but it's been running a little while, so we can see the temperature on there. So at the moment, it's barely getting warm. Actually, it'll probably go a little bit higher than that, I should imagine. But anyway, there it is. This is actually a wave share board. If you go for this, if you go for this type, it's not the one that Dave's working on, but it's obviously working fine on here. There's no there's no Lime SDR at the minute on there, but there we are. That's it. I think that'll probably do me because it's quite busy on there tonight. But that's I think Mike wanted me to show that, so I've done that. Okay then. So thank you, Martin, for letting me in, and thank you for Gareth for offering. I do need to scoot off to work fairly soon, so I'll say 7 threes for now, and I won't catch you next week because I'll be actually on late shift, so I won't get on at all. So a couple of weeks time, I should return. So over to you, Martin. G4FKK, G4KLB. Oh, the test card vanished.
Yeah, fine, Colin. Thank you very much, and well done for coming up on the net despite having to head off for work any minute now. And good evening and Happy New Year to everybody. Great to see Dave EEV on, and really good picture in the end, Dave. That was excellent. And David, good to see you again. in your 0 degree shack. Yeah, I saw the winner of all the tables had done very well there, Dave. I don't think I know VDP, but he obviously gets out very well somewhere. And yeah, I like the amp mods, Jim. I might have to contact you about something along those lines. And looks like you've done a good job there. I'm glad to see you've still got your tobacco tin in your beautifully engineered thing there, Roger. And I was interested in the small loop you've got lurking behind you. I wonder what band that covers. Nothing very high by the look of it. Yeah, I liked your setup, Dave. EEV, nice and neat. And David, I'm glad you got the Ryde going. I've got my miniature Ryde on the bench, which does seem to be working. If I go over to the unsteady cam, it's a bit like Colin's. I'm using the screen that Dave's using, and but I'm using a mic Ryde board. Well, it is a Ryde at the moment, that thing, on the back of it. So sorry, my unsteady cam is of much lower quality than Colin's shaky cam, so apologies for that. Oh, there goes Mrs. FKK. Nigel, good to see you on, and hopefully the Winter Hill's still working well. And Benno, yeah, the dual screen box looks absolutely brilliant. I wonder if it's as nice inside as it is outside, and the speech recognition is working very well. I did prime Dave a couple of weeks ago that you were wanting one of those with automatic translation as well. That'd be even better, wouldn't it, for Oscar 100? But that worked really well, and it was a good demonstration with your lack of audio. Right, well, all I've been doing this week is vintage stuff. So it's the KW weekend this weekend coming. So I've been allowed to put one of my KW 2000As out in the spare room upstairs, one of the spare rooms, and I've been allowed to run a bit of coax from it to the shack. So I shall be radiating with valves over the weekend. I've also been taking this thing to bits. See if you can see that. That's rather nice and very old French carriage clock, which you can probably see on the camera is absolutely filthy. It would appear from the back of the dial that it's not been serviced since 1935. So it's not been used much either, because all the pivots and bearings are in good order. Anyway, I'll shut up now, because you probably don't want to know any of that, and put it round to you, Keith. So GU6EFB to take it with the net. Let's bung the test card back up. This is G4FKK standing by.
Yeah, G4. G4. G4FKK. Yeah, thanks there, Martin, and Happy New Year to all on net. And yeah, I've been playing around with the lighting, so it'll please Mike. It won't be quite so foggy down here in GU tonight. Well, 2022's got off to a brilliant start for me. Ended up in hospital for 4 hours on Monday afternoon, not being able to breathe. So I've got COVID, but turned out I've picked up bronchitis, so hence the kind of croaky voice. So it will be a short over from me. Jim, those amps are absolutely brilliant. I'm using one of those at the moment. That's what I'm using to transmit. The only modification I've done on that is I've taken out the filter circulator, and I've changed the output sockets to SMAs. So I'd be interested to know what power. I actually haven't measured the power on this one yet, but it's certainly doing a good job. I've done some nice transmissions with it. Yeah, those boards that everybody's got on the back of their Pies, I'd certainly like to get my hands on one of those, so I don't know if they're available from the BATC shop. Preference would be for the one with the 25-way D, so if somebody can let me know if they're available and where from and how much, I'll certainly order one. So round to you there, Mike, G0MJW and the group from GU6EFB.
Right. Sorry, that's just to confuse Tim. Hopefully I've got some audio. I think so. If not, please complain. But hello everyone. And thanks Keith, Happy New Year. Those boards, actually only Colin has got some of those boards. They came, I sent him some Gerbers. I've got some earlier versions of them. There's two types, one for the Ryde and one for the with the 25-way D for Dave's version, and I did them so that I didn't have to wire 25 different bits for the D connector. Oh, my audio is not very loud either, so I'll just turn it up a bit. Sorry about that. It's probably not synced either. So anyway, really good picture from you, Keith. Very good. And right, everything is goo. Right, okay. Just a few things to cover then. Firstly, the amplifiers, Jim, they look really, really good. I'd want one of those if I hadn't got enough amplifiers already. But interesting to see how you've modified those, and they're not very expensive either. And Dave, nice to see you on for the first time in the station, similar to what I was using up in Bolton with your 1 metre dish. 85 centimetres, probably a little bit too small for the uplink. Because of the number of wavelengths across the dish, but it'll work, and yeah, you have to put a lot of power into it though, that's the problem. So yeah, use a bigger one. Maybe even a Yagi would be preferable to such a small dish. Something like a 55 element Yagi isn't very big, and it's probably got more gain than such a small dish than that. And Roger, radiator, I'm going to show a picture in a minute with my Polycom. In fact, let me go over to that. Firstly, it's showing a picture for the bench of something that I'm working on, which I'll cover later. But if I can steer this camera right in the right direction, is that going the right way? Look on the floor. Yeah, there we go. I couldn't get... Oh, it stopped moving. Why has it stopped moving? Oh, because I'm pushing it in the wrong direction, pressing the wrong button. Still can't steer my Polycom. That is a 6 metre and 4 metre 1.2 kilowatt amplifier. And it's sitting on a copper block with water cooling, and it's just one pipe. Effectively, it's just 3 holes drilled through the copper that give you that water cooling. But next to it is a radiator which takes 2 120mm fans, and these are designed for these PC people, hence the bright orange pipes. And also there is a pump and a reservoir, and I tested that at a kilowatt output and it worked fine. So that's what you can do with cooling, with water cooling. In fact, if I go to the other camera, sorry about this, this is Polycoms for you. You have to choose which camera you're using. And maybe I'll get a better view with that one, I don't know. Then again, maybe not. No, it's not visible from that one, it's hidden by the bench. So maybe I'll show it on the next over anyway. That's what I've been doing there. Did I machine the copper myself? No, I didn't, but it's really simple to do. It's actually a demo version which I got from Conrad. Anyway, so those little radiators work quite well if you can't get one from a Mini or something like that. I originally planned to use a Mini radiator, but I couldn't get one. David, I assume it is actually above absolute zero. Your noise figures must be really low in that shack, of all your preamps, but you looked cold, so hopefully you'll get warmed up soon. Yeah. And Nigel, excellent signal as we've become used to, actually. I'm a bit worried about that big hacksaw that you've got behind you there. I don't know what you're intending to do with that. And Benno, those subtitles were amazing. I really will try and get that to work, because that's good. I could have Japanese subtitles, for example, underneath my audio, which would be very useful for nobody. But maybe English ones, or even better would be a way to stream them on the web, so that when you have a recording in... It's very useful. YouTube does it as well. I've been watching videos of the Malachite receivers, and it's a Russian group who are building them, and all their videos are in Russian, but the subtitles are in any language you want, and when they're in English you can understand what they're saying, so it's really useful for that. And Martin, all I can say about that clock is it's lovely. So very good to see that. Right, just very quickly then. This is what I've been working on during the dark hours of the winter, and it's basically the next project. So here's a picture of what it is. It's a controller, nothing complicated. It's just an Arduino Nano for a amplifier, a PA. And the idea is that the Nano, there's nothing clever on here at all. There's just an Arduino Nano, and there's a couple of chips here which drive the LEDs and some I/O. So it's nothing spectacular, but it's basically a front panel and control unit for the amplifiers we're building, so that we can maybe do 10 meters DATV. So that's what this is. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I've got several amplifiers where I've built this for the hard wiring point-to-point wiring, so I decided to try and integrate it all into one thing. And I've got a better picture of that actually, which I'll show in a minute. But a 3D rendition. But I've discovered something else actually, which might be of interest to people who are struggling with the 3-stream coder, and that is that when you do put a heavy CPU load on, it does tend to cause problems with the H.265 encoding with the graphics card. So programs that are using the graphics card seem to disable the encoding. Yes, ports down. Editing software. Yeah, always questions about software from Dave. Right, with that, I think I should pass it on to Gareth. I hope, Gareth, you've not had any more accidents with respect to acceleration and motors that are loosely coupled to the back shelf of the car. So hopefully you've got that sorted now. G4XAT, round to you. G0MJW. Put up a test card.
That sounds promising. Yep, evening all. G4XAT. Let's transition and get that bit right. Happy New Year to everybody. Loads of good stuff on this evening. Does the innovation ever stop, I wonder? But that's life. It's all very good stuff. Okay. Water-cooled PCs. Well, I've got one here, Mike. I can't stand fan noise, which I know you're going to say is ironic given the amount of fan noise I've got in here at the moment. But I'm working on that. But anyway, my PC is water-cooled and has been for 6 years. And it wasn't that dear. It was the pump and the radiator with fans on it if you need them, though if you can arrange a bit of convenient convection current, you probably wouldn't need any, depending on the ultimate load, I suppose. Okay, Martin asked earlier how was the field trip to a possible stroke P site, so I'm going to have a crack at this. Okay, this is a panorama from Thurl Beacon. So that muddy looking path is the South Downs Way down near Lewes in Sussex. And this is going clockwise, looking at the horizon obviously. Ignore the van, that's not mine. There's some radio masts there which are quite useful in terms of, well, it must be quite a good spot. And so it goes round over the channel, not a massive amount of use I suppose. And then not quite so good off to the west, which is a bit of a shame. And then we're back round again to the muddy path. So that's what I did today, en route to visit the mother-in-law with my wife for a day out. And we had a look at that. That was okay. The rear windscreen got replaced for 75 quid, thank goodness for a glass cover, Mike. And the engine is now very well wedged in there. Yes, it is a Summit, David. But it was too damn cold. I admire you sitting in your chilly shack. I'm fairly comfortable here, thanks. But I like SOTA, but at the moment I like TV more, and I certainly haven't been up as many mountains as you have. I think I've been up one, maybe two actually, but only one formally, and it's a one-pointer, and you can drive to it and just unload the stuff from the back of the car, so it's cheating, but it is genuine. Okay, I will waffle more next over with some goodies that arrived today, but let's everybody have a good go, so I will shut up and swap to the test card and say round to G0 AZQ from G4X80 in the BATC Net. Over.
Well, that bit seemed to work. The audio's on auto. Okay, so we do have audio. Well, good evening all, and haven't been on for a little while, but I thought I'd just pop in, first of all, to say thank you for the tobacco tins. So they arrived okay, and no problem as far as that was concerned. I haven't actually built anything in there yet, but thanks very much to IUZ Roger for the tobacco tins. Nice to see Dave on EV. He's normally quite on a lot with the repeater, and has been, of course, with the activity and the bits and pieces that have been on with the Christmas contest. So looks like EY's been put on the map at last. So we'll see how things go as far as that's concerned. Just a quickie, Dave, GKQ. I've got this Anker C300 camera, which was mentioned a few weeks ago. Do you want me to send you that to put it on with the sound? Because obviously the sound doesn't work on that one like it did with the other one. So that's that. Now, was it Martin that mentioned about flying? And I mentioned that I'd flown a Tiger Moth from Red Hill, which had previously been flown by Prince Charles just before. And what I didn't mention, but I hasten to add now, that particular aircraft was Golf Alpha Charlie Delta Charlie, which is like the story of the broom. It's been a marvellous broom for the past 10 years. It's only had 4 new handles and 3 new heads. So it's not the original one, but it's nice to have that one in the logbook. Okay, what else have we got down here? Santa Claus came and brought me a present. He couldn't get it down the chimney, but it suddenly appeared on the drive. So I thought, well, I'll take a picture of that, and I've taken it out for a spin around, taxed it, and done all the bits and pieces. Quite old, as you can see from the registration, but should be a bit of fun when the weather gets a bit better. Okay, who's getting round to next? I think that Dave put me on the end of the list there, so I don't see anybody there on the list. I can't see it there. So it's probably back to you then, Dave. G8 GKQ G0AZQ, and no test card today. Sorry, just another burst of that. Will that do as a test card? No, I've got this. This will do.
G0AZQ and the net, G8 GKQ, hopefully with audio about 9, but it's probably 11. Right, well, that's all really interesting stuff. Jim, good to see you making progress with those PAs and the 12. Right, okay, I'll turn it down a bit. There you go. I keep doing that. Water cooling, yes, lovely stuff. Not my engineering though. Turning you down, Dave. Great to see you on G4, Dave G4EV. I've seen you around the bazaars, but not seen you on satellite before, so really good to see some new people on. And pleased that you're having success with your Ryde there, David. Nigel FEC, if you can get in with FEC, resolve yourself with FEC a half, you need about another dB to resolve yourself with FEC 2/3. Because you've got less error correction. So it's not surprising if you've got a weak receive setup there that you need the FEC a half. Benno, the double Portsdown looks lovely, or Portsdown and Ryde, or whatever, Portsdown and Langstone, or whatever it is, looks really good. I must admit I have been tempted, but haven't made one yet. But really impressed. We saw another one from who was it? Wolfgang the other night put on a really impressive Portsdown as well. And the audio subtitling app looks really good. It does need to go on a streaming receiver, which we're not providing at the moment, but yours looks pretty good. Keith, the 25-way D-type board we're considering getting in the shop. We'll have some discussions about that, and your lighting looks a lot better. Tony, on the camera, hang fire for a while, please. I've got a enormous queue of software projects, and I'm going to be away for a while. So ask me again in about a month's time, and we might have a better response. But at the moment, I'm really backed up with stuff. And that stuff, the first project I worked on this week was web control of the Portsdown. I think I demoed that perhaps last week or perhaps on the HV Net. I can't remember which now. But I did hit a major stumbling block. But thanks to Phil M0 DNY, we've overcome that stumbling block. But the project has dropped down the priority list in favour of a replacement repeater controller for GB3HV. Now you can probably see over my right shoulder a slide saying K. That is part of the output of the repeater. If I just restart it, the idea is there we go, starting up. It identifies itself like it should. And then goes into the carousel, which currently has just that test card in. But if I select one of the inputs on, it comes up. You probably can't read that. It says signal detected on 70SEM Ryde. There's no Ryde there, so it goes straight to the K for the next thing. If I put that switch on, I get 23SEM Ryde and so on. So there's some progress there. And that's a Raspberry Pi 4 doing all the logic and captions for a repeater. I'm about to dive into the nightmare of HDMI switching. Hang on, I notice my PA is getting a bit warm and going low again. Let's just let that lock up again. Yep, there we go. About to dive into the nightmare of HDMI switching. I've just taken the lid off of that box to work out how I do that. So the 5-inch screen on the Portstown has slipped down the priority list a bit, but thanks to Gareth for a screen protector, a screen case for it, which arrived today. And James DQH, I know you're watching. I haven't posted the power supply yet, but it is boxed up and ready to go in the post office. So that's it. Right, I think that's all the points covered, apart from the fact that I forgot to mention that Noel won the 5.6 gig 2021 contest ladder. Congratulations to Noel. Sorry about that. Right, back to the top of the list, and yes, I am going on holiday. G7NTG and the group G8GKQ.
Right, turn my sound off. Mute it, I should say. Right, okay, well, have a good holiday, Dave. It is well deserved, that. You've done a lot of work for us over the last couple of years. There's some fantastic stuff that's very, very much appreciated by all of us. So there you go. Right, this little amplifier, who was asking? Keith was asking about this, about the modifications by removing some capacitors. Very, very simple. I've managed to get the power up from initially 25 to 30 watts, and now I get 80 to 90 watts out, which is suitable for transmitting through the satellite with a reasonable sized dish. So there you go. It'll do the 333 symbol rate anyway. So yes, I've submitted an article to CQTV. Dave received it from me, showing how to convert them. So hopefully it might be in the next CQTV. But if anybody wants details before then just email me and I'll send it to you. I'll email it back. It's no problem at all. A pleasure. Right. Now my PAs for 4 meters, 2 meters and 77s are all built like this, quite small, and they all use Mitsubishi RA modules. My picture's just frozen up, so I don't know who has. I don't know if anybody else has had, but this is the RA module for 77s. It's an RA60, and it does. See if I can get a bit of a closer look. The boards are available from the UK on eBay, and so are the modules. This is a 60 watt module and I've used it on a 437 for TV, and I've run the bias to maximum, so it's running in class A at about 11 amps for a good 60 watts out. Now very, very linear, works brilliantly on TV. Right, well that's about it then. I'm going to pass it on round the system to G3 IUZ Roger, so I'll say 73s to everybody and catch you all later. Just in time because my little grandson was going to bed. So G3 IUZ G7NTG with the group.
Right, okay, thank you, Jim. G3IUZ returning to the group. Thank you very much indeed for all the the comments. Glad the tobacco tins arrived safely. And for those of you who, thank you, Martin, for commenting again on the the tobacco tin cover. Well, why not? I mean, it's the cheap and quick way of doing it. I couldn't do it for the actual amplifier. It was not the right size, so I had to make one for that out of tin plate. If anybody else wants tobacco tins, I have quite a considerable supply, as I remarked last week, from my ill-spent youth when a pipe was de rigueur. Right. The loop that you can see in the background, the small one, Martin, that's for 6 meters and 4 meters, covers both, and it's all computer controlled. So that's what that is. Mike, on the radiator, yeah, I did look at the PC cooling systems, but you're talking serious money to get those. You know, tens, if not hundreds of pounds, unless you happen to have one handy, which I haven't. Whereas I say I've got I just went on eBay, put in small car radiator, and found an MG midget radiator in good nick, and nobody else wanted it. It was repeatedly advertised for 2 or 3 weeks, so I thought, well, I'll have that, and got it on Monday for £12.99. So, and I'm going to rely on convection for that. Well, it is pumped, of course, but I don't anticipate, because it will have quite a good surface area, I don't anticipate needing any fans. But that obviously remains to be seen. But everything in this temperature outside in the backyard, it's all very sensible. But I thought perhaps in the summer, when it gets up into the, because it is a rather a windless area, I might need a bit more surface area than just a tank. So that's why I'm doing it that way. It's cheap, it's easy, and it's outside, so there's plenty of room. And they mentioned tiger moths. Just reminded me that 70 years ago, I flew in my very first flight ever, at the age of 15, when I was in the ATC, was from RAF White Waltham in a tiger moth, as part of a week ATC camp there. And my family very kindly, for my 80th birthday, bought me an hour's flight in a tiger moth from White Waltham. So I've flown from White Waltham twice in a tiger moth. It's no longer, because it's a private airfield now. It's London Flying Club, isn't it? But lovely to go back there. It's changed quite a lot. They had auto gyros and all sorts of things there when I was there with the RAF. So there we are. So 70 years apart, two memorable tiger moth flights from White Waltham. So there we are. That's enough of that. But I know some of you are into aircraft and flying, so I've never had the temerity or the wherewithal to attempt to fly other than in gliders. But there we are. Right, that's enough from me. I think that's covered all the points, except to say, Dave, I'm going to pass it to G4EEV. Welcome to the net, and a lovely picture. Very, very good for the first attempt. Far better than most of us, I can tell you. So G4EEV to take it. This is G3IUZ, just waiting.
Just checked it. Oh yes, I think I've got audio, and the pictures come up this time. I don't know what happened last time. I just had to restart the free stream viewer and the Pluto, and it came back. So I was unsure if I was going to get back on again this time. So I did try on another channel, and it was still working. So the OBS, the free stream coder, and the Pluto has all been running in the background continuously. Well, thanks for all the comments there. I didn't get a chance. Oh, I haven't put my picture on. Oh dear. There we go. Probably late in the night. I'll get used to this. Other people have done this, haven't they? They forget to click the button because you can see your picture on the screen. You think you're going out. Yes, the location here is between Harrogate and Ripon in North Yorkshire. The picture you saw earlier is of Brimham Rocks, and you can just about see the townscape of Harrogate in the background. Say hello to Tony as well. We saw a lot of Tony on the air in the Christmas contest, so pleased he managed to get the car, and we'll be looking out for some mobile operation if we can correct for Doppler and everything. Well, it's been an interesting evening. Thanks for the opportunity to come on, and I'll say my 73s now and pass it over to the other Dave. M0YDH to take it from G4EEV.
Mate, 280. I'm running F3 what half, so that seemed to work better. Yeah, nice to see you for the first time, Dave. G4EV, yeah. I'm still learning. I've been here ATV for 4 years now, and I'm still learning. I still keep forgetting to do stuff. And Mike, yeah, the yellow Exor, it's alright. I just want to put back. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. Shut up, Nigel. Oh dear, I get worse, don't I? Yeah, but not a lot for me to say really. I can't think of anything to ask. And it's getting on, and it's what, 9 o'clock. So I'm going to pass over to Benno. Benno, your pictures was fantastic, and the audio and the auto texting, that was good, but no audio. So hopefully it'll be interesting to see if you've got your audio this time, Benno. So I'm going to hand the microphone and the frequency to PA3FBX and BATC Net. I'll say 73, but stopping on for monitoring obviously, and catch you next week. Go on, Ben. Next week. Go on, Ben.
Well, audio now. Let's turn this one a little bit down. Well, audio now. So let's turn this one a little bit down, otherwise I get crazy of myself. At least I have audio, a little bit video. I should know how it works after this kind of time. Okay. Well, anyway, I made a capture of a live translation I wanted to show you, and I made this small video
and I don't turn the audio on, but you can see that I translated what Golf 4 Echo Victor Victor Echo Victor. It's in Dutch, and the bottom part is English, and this is a real life translation. Actually, it's using a API service from Google, and that costs really money, so this is not very nice. No audio. Well, anyway, that is something I wanted to show you. It has some disadvantages. Let's quickly check if I have audio now. I believe I have audio, yes. No problem. So really I think it will produce, and basically what I'm doing is now handing it over to the guys with knowledge, because I will never get this in organized in a pour down or some BATC Net stream, but at least I know it's capable and it's available on the World Wide Web. I already put a link for a video for the web captioner, which is yes, I can read. I have read what it's doing, and it's really doing a great job in translating. Obviously, it needs a clear audio. If I have, I'm doing a quick nasty English, then it's really a mess in what I'm doing, and it doesn't know, like my call sign Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-ray. It really makes something really messy about, but hey, I need to speak better English, and then you all guys can read what I'm meaning about. But anyway, I think this was at least with audio. Quickly check my audio again. Yes, still audio there, so I should have audio now. And I think somewhere along the line, maybe the best, I can speak Dutch if you wish, but I haven't put my subtitle in Dutch yet. And this one is not translating it. This one is only putting it onto the channel. But you have do the receive part. You need to do the receive part for translation, and it really takes a lot of time. Basically, it takes up to 15 seconds or so before it comes back. Well, that's all for now. I'm really interested, Jim, in that amplifier. I saw quite a bit of amplifiers available, and they are really cheap. I thought it was a 130 watt DC, and it's producing, according to the specs, only 30 watts. But if you're talking about 90 watts already, then I wonder if this one is better, or should be usable at least for a decent DADV signal. Well, probably I will send you a mail as well, and we'll talk about that next time. Okay, microphone. Colin's probably on his work. So Martin, Fox Kilo Kilo, microphone to you. Papa Alpha 3 Foxtrot Bravo X-ray.
Aha. Have we audio? Right. And more to the point, I've got a working Ryde image. Good evening. Thank you, Beno. That was really good. I've only got past Gateway 1 in Dutch in Duolingo, so it's good fun. That's absolutely amazing. And for those of you who really need to learn French and German and maybe Italian so you can speak to the people direct, just put the time in. He says cheekily. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to come on and not have a disaster. I then had another disaster. There's the Ryde image working of myself, so that's great. And of all the other people, it's a really super system. And there you go. Put that in front of the screen. It might turn up. Yeah. That's a Marantz CD player that quit this earth last year. But its remote control was eminently copyable, and I followed the wiki instructions and they work fantastic, so I'm delighted with that. Okay, welcome to Dave, G4EV. It's super to see you, and already you're doing far more complicated things than I do. I just have a ports down. I can't do captions. The best I can say is somebody put up my pictures of me, the things I've built from the M0YDH Twitter feed, and usually people help me out. So it's as good as it gets. Okay, it's brilliant to see everybody on, and I hope I thought it's worth sticking it out. I've got me blanket around my legs, so there you go. We're toughing it out, no trouble. This is positively easy. We need a howling wind through here. And gone off screen. Okay, well done everybody. I haven't done very much, and then it's the gym amp, and they seem to be working, so that's where everything's going.
G4FKK returning. It's a disaster circus in the shack at the moment. But there you go, Roger. There's just to remind you. That's you probably didn't hear that, but my French carriage clock just bonged, or struck, as we say. Yeah, it's not very pretty at the moment, Mike. It's very, very grimy, but I have actually managed to get it going without taking it to bits yet. If I do that, I'll have to put it near there, but there you go. I don't know if you can hear it striking there. So now I know it will work. I shall. Only 6. What am I on the ppm? Oh well. In local radio, we used to peak to 6 ppm, but all the commercial stations like to go to ppm 8. Oh, sorry, I've got to stop this bonging, haven't I? It's been driving me mad, this clock today. There you go. That'll shut it up. Right, just quickly whiz through my notes. Keith, very sorry to hear you ended up in hospital. That's most poor. It sounds like you're over it now, so that's much better. And yeah, you're quite right, Tim. We don't need a volume indicator because we got no. Nice comment. And the 1 kilowatt water-cooled amp looks very impressive, Mike. I don't know. Can you run that sort of all the time, at 1 kilowatt. I wonder. That's very good. I'm glad the trip to Firle Beacon was productive, Gareth. Tony's gone, but when I did my differences training on a tail dragger, I did that at the Tiger Club. Well, I started at the Tiger Club in Headcorn when they'd moved there, and ACDC was still there. So, but shortly after that, it went off for some service, and I've never seen it since. So, but yeah, very nice present as well you got there, Tony. Looks like you're making great progress with the repeater control there, Dave. I've no reason to build one, but I probably will. Something else to do with the Raspberry Pi, isn't it? Oh, and Jim, yeah, that article would be good. I might drop you a line. I don't actually need another amplifier. That's famous last words, isn't it? Because mine will probably pack up instantly. And the 70SEMS amp looks good as well, and the 6 and 4. The loop looks very well engineered as usual, Roger. And I'll have to have a chat with you sometime about the computer control. I'm doing some software for an automatic matching unit, only an HF one, but be interesting to see how you've done that. I want to measure phase and magnitude, impedance magnitude, but in a is it more than 50 ohms or less than 50 ohms, and is it capacitive or inductive, the phase? I can do it in analog, but getting it digital is a bit more difficult, I've decided. Dave EEV, 73 to you. Cheers to you, Nigel. And Benno, glad you've got everything working there. David, M0YTH, the ports down is amazingly good just by itself. Unfortunately, mine is now buried under a ton of other stuff, so I can't wave it around to move around the shack, which on balance is a good thing. Right, that's enough. I shall... didn't I say... Oh, hang on, wait a minute. There was one thing. Oh, no, I think I showed you that already. Right, so from me, it goes round to Keith, GU6EFB. 73 to everyone this evening, and thanks for running the net, Dave. G4FKK off and clear. Well, are we listening?
Yeah, G4FKK, GU6EFB. Thanks there, Martin. Okay, all very interesting, and yeah, please do look at stocking those boards in the shop, because I would certainly have a couple and contribute a bit to BATC funds there. Okay, on SOTA. SOTA is not something we take seriously in Guernsey. Guernsey being basically wedge-shaped at sea level at the north and up to about 300 feet on the south coast. It's a tad higher in the centre of the island, but we do have a problem there. As the highest point, you would be meeting all the aircraft. They'd be landing on you because it's at the end of the runway. So yeah, they don't take too kindly to masts and things around there. Dave, have a good holiday. Thanks for all you do. I'll echo the comments of everybody else. It really is appreciated, and the encouragement from you as well. It's been brilliant. Something here just very quickly for Roger, if I can find it. There we go. Yeah, we've just managed to purchase one of these. Well, not me personally, but the establishment that we work at. And it's a nice CNC machine, 5-axis rotary table, swarf conveyor, weighs 4,400 kilos. It's got a 33 horse motor, I think, through spindle cooling, so you know where I'm going to be spending all my lunch breaks when that arrives. It's not here yet. Dave, G4EV, welcome to the net. I'm a newbie as well and often get things wrong. And well, believe it or not there, Dave, YDH, I'm sitting here in the shack with the window open, It's currently 23 degrees and about 11 degrees outside. One last thing just quickly to show. Been busy constructing whilst I haven't been at work, and there's a 70 centimetre transverter, 10 metres in, 70 cms out. Just wants these wires here connected to the LEDs, and I'm just waiting for some 1000 puff feed through ceramics to arrive, and then that's that finished. It does actually work, so yeah, we're going along nicely, and we now have transmit TV on 4 meters, 2 meters and 23 centimeters from down here. So yeah, we're moving along quite nicely. So keep it short. So round to Mike. So round to you there, Mike, G0MJW in the group from GU6EFB.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Hopefully I've got a signal up, and with respect to David, vorrei poter parlare meglio l'italiano perché sapere molto più conveniente. However, I don't, even though it would be. Right, there's an image here of the amplifier that I was talking about earlier with the radiator. Roger, you're right, the prices of those have rocketed. I think I paid about 20 quid for that, something like that, and it's really gone up. So yeah, the eBay and surplus car parts is definitely the way to go. So all good. A really good net tonight. Lots of new people as well. That's been excellent. So it's good to see all these things going on. Just to show you what we were talking about, Keith, this is the board sitting on top of a Pi. Colin's built it properly, but he's got the wrong 25-way D connector. It's slightly longer. It's supposed to be flush to go in a box, but I don't know if we're going to put them in the shop or not. But I think Colin's ordered several of them, and I can always give you the Gerbers. It's not a BATC project really. It's just one of my projects to make life easier for wiring up. So that's what that is, and there we go. Right, molto bene. Grazie, David. Yeah, maybe I'll switch to French or something. I can't really speak Italian very well, and je ne parle français, or certainly not Dutch. Yeah, but I mean, the Dutch are the linguists of the world, really. They seem to speak all languages. I used to spend a lot of time going to a place called ESTEC in the Netherlands, which is the European Space Agency, and it's in a place called Noordwijk. So Leiden is one of the ways on the way you get the train to Leiden, get the bus to ESTEC or Noordwijk, and it's a lovely part of the world. Lots of really nice people there, and unfortunately they all speak English, so I never learnt any Dutch. Right, with that, let's pass it round. I think it's on to Gareth, so all good. G4XAT, around to you. 7 to everyone. Hope everyone has a good week, and catch you all next week, hopefully. G0MJW.
Right, G4XAT back again. Thank you, Mike. Yes, it's interesting. I was looking at some cheap little amps I bought about 6 months ago, and they were like 4 quid a pop now, and they're £13 each now. So I resisted the urge to search for water-cooled amps. Why don't I do what I should not do and get rid of my test card? There we go. Sorry folks. Right, another little project here. This is a tiny little board. I got it for 42p plus 50p delivery off eBay, It's a touch-controlled PWM LED dimmer, and dims up and then dims down again and stays at whatever setting you put it on. That's for a little project which I won't talk about. Also, these are touch control boards, and you can configure the jumpers to toggle or just react to the touch. So that's quite handy. That's an 8-channel one. They do 4-channel ones as well. Those are fairly cheap on eBay. Sound level, I guess I turned it down a little bit, so I hope that's not too bad. In anticipation of January's activity, this is a bit more smoke on 23 SEMS than the 10 watts I've got at the moment. This is one of those G4 BAO boards which I've had probably since he first published it actually, but that's coming on. That's on a Pentium 2 heatsink, and the fan isn't quite up to the job on 12 volts, so I've stuck an LED in the ground lead of the 12 volt regulator, and that gives 13.85, and the fan is plenty good enough for that. And to go with that, I've got one of his little driver amps as well. So that should get built and finished in the next few days, or day even. Right, let's have a look at the Polycam. Right, okay, that is my Toshiba amp, and that heatsink came off eBay. It's surplus, it's from a solar inverter. And I'm going to cut it into 3 because I've got 2 of those Toshiba amps, and I'm sure I'll find an amp to put on the other third. But it's 40 quid delivered, and I thought actually that's really quite a good price for what is a very significant piece of aluminium. Helps if you've got access to a bandsaw and a mill to clean up the edges, of course. Okay, I think that's it. Amps, touch dimmers and heatsink. So I'll wish you all well, and see you on the air here, there and everywhere, I hope. Round to G0AZQ, I hope, from G4XAT in the net. Have a bit of test card, and then round it goes from G4XAT. Over. And round.
Oh, right, okay, I'm back. We'll turn the volume down this time, or we'll mute the volume this time. Echo on the last transmission. The audio coming up on the other computer at the moment. Right, I wasn't coming back, but I am here now. And a couple of comments made. I thought I'd mention that it was actually a Porsche, because I had a couple of people locally who'd said, is it a kit car? And I thought, no, this one isn't a kit car. I had a Westfield, as I mentioned there on the chat, I had a Westfield kit car. I didn't build it completely, but I finished it off. And I bought that for 10 grand and kept it for about 3 years. And reluctantly sold it for 10, but sold it for the same amount of money. I don't think I'm going to get rid of this one, but I didn't pay 10 grand for it, even though it's 20 years old and a real Porsche. So, not going to let you know how, but then that dreaded bearing will probably go next week. Somebody will say, I told you not to get it. Anyway, 7.3. Somebody said that I was next on the list, so 7.3 up. And we'll catch you again in the not too distant future. G0 without a test card, G0AZQ, off and clear. Happy New Year all.
That sounds a bit better. Okay. I try to optimize the audio volume, and I clearly disturbed something. Anyway, sorry about that. Crackle, snap, pop. Yes, we do need. The pictures are good. It's the audio that's the problem. Well, while we're talking about volume, I see there was some discussion about seeing AC/DC live. Yes, they were loud. I saw them in 1978 or something. I think my hearing's still just about all right. I'm around next week, but away for a couple of weeks after that. So look forward to seeing you all again next week. Interesting as ever. And yes, hopefully be able to show some progress on the repeater by next week. I really need to get that off the bench and work on something else. So good night all. Thanks for coming on. See you next week. G8GKQ closing the BATC net and leaving the frequency clear.